Woo-wee. Come on into the room, guys. Be coachable, teachable, trainable. Post your city and state if you choose to. Post your state where you're catching this information from on today. I am over here struggling to stay awake right now. Y'all know how it is sometimes when you get the itis. Yeah, that's what's going on with me right now. I have the itis so bad. I made the mistake of eating right before I got settled today, and I am absolutely struggling. So this is quite interesting. So come on into the room, guys. Be coachable, teachable, trainable. Post your state where you are catching this information from. So should you choose to do so, I won't necessarily ask you to do that, but I kind of like to know where it is. Hey, Stevie P. I kind of like to know where it is you guys are chiming in from all over God's good green earth and hopefully not beyond. But I'm having to stand up right now because I got a bit of the itis, and I am struggling to stay awake. As you see, I'm also struggling with my words. All right, but on today's Watch Me Work Wednesday, we are actually going to be discussing the Discover Your Unique Genius worksheets that you guys were able to get access to on Sunday. And if you don't have access to those, we actually showed you how you can use a simplified project planning worksheet. And if you don't have a project planning worksheet, but you have a plain old sheet of paper, we discussed how you can use that as well. So again, my name is BrandMaster Martina Britt Yelverton, and I am your cash flow queen and founder of the #1 legal tax hack to hire your kids in your own home-based business. So should you choose to do that, but you're not obviously required to do that. But beyond that, I teach and I coach the new, the stuck, struggling Gen X entrepreneur who is struggling to actually build a personal brand. And today I'm going to be discussing one of the most important ways that you can go through working through what your own unique value is, what your specific skill set is, how the marketplace looks at that skill set. Hey there, Andre. How the marketplace looks at that skill set, if the marketplace is even remotely interested in that skill set, and whether or not that skill set is something that they will actually pay you for. So forgive me, I'm having to stand up right now to literally wake myself up because truly I got the itis right now. And sis girl is struggling. So just bear with me right now as I, reinvigorate myself and get myself ready. So today we're actually not here for a long time, but it's going to be a good time. And today, during this hour that I have with you guys, we're going to walk through the Discover Your Unique Value worksheet that you're available to get access to. And if you do not yet have access to that and you're wondering where in the world or what in the world I'm talking about up here inside of the community. If you get an opportunity to, once you come into the community, I have a plethora of information available there for anybody who comes into that community, so that they can do things like get access to all of the worksheets, all of the training, coaching, whether I do it live, whether I do it pre-recorded. Hey, Coco. I make sure that anybody that comes into the community, they get the training, they get the downloadable worksheets. Hey, Bafana, and my friend Bafana. Help me pronounce that correctly. I enjoy making sure that I pronounce people's names correctly. And so I want to see if there's any way that you can let me know how to pronounce that properly so that I can make sure to greet you properly whenever you drop by my live stream. And I'm standing up right now because I got the itis bad. And so I figured I needed to reinvigorate myself and wake myself up before I actually sat back down, because I made the mistake of eating a heavy veggie-based meal right before I jumped into this, and I am struggling with itis right now. I said, so let me stand up. Let me see if I can literally get myself together so I can deliver this information to you guys. So bear with me. Once we jump over into it, Gina, I'll have a seat. But I greatly appreciate you guys coming on into the room. If you have not had an opportunity to go up in the community to get access to the worksheet that I gave out on this past Sunday, hey there, Jay, then I need for you to do that. You can pop out, pop back in, but in the meantime, if you don't want to leave the stream to go and grab your worksheets, not a problem. Grab a plain sheet of paper, or if you've already downloaded the project planner and you want to utilize that, you can utilize that on today, okay? But there's some very important information. There's 3 levels of value that we're going to discuss on today. And if you guys could chime in, let me know what state you're chiming in from. how you're getting ready to fare during this inclement weather that is forthcoming, and whether or not you're going to be online over this inclement weather that's coming. Hey, amazing. If you're going to be online through this inclement weather that's coming, and if you're going to be absorbing information via the good old internet right now. But there are 3 levels of value that I'm going to discuss with you, and we'll probably be able to wrap all this up in about 45 minutes or less. Usually I'm on here for about an hour and a half, but tonight I'm actually attending a 7 p.m. live that I need to wrap that up in about an hour because, hey, South Carolina in the house, thank you so much for being coachable, teachable, trainable, and posting your state, letting me know where this invaluable information is reaching out here in these internet streets. I really appreciate it. Hey, Deidre. And so for me, I want to discuss the 3 levels of value. And again, we're going to be using this worksheet. So if you have not had an opportunity to grab your copy of this worksheet, then you want to take the opportunity to look inside the community, right? And I am going to discuss very, very momentarily something I have noticed about the community that you guys have brought to my attention in your repeat joins of the community versus you're simply logging into the community. And so thank you so much. I think it was either Kishona or Marsha Renee that let me know the other day that once they joined the community, they didn't know how specifically to get back to the community. Thank you so much for your follow, Miss Kim. I appreciate it. They didn't know how to get back to the community. So even though they came into the community using that option that's available in there for them to come into the community, Lisa Day, so good to see you. They didn't know how to get back to the community, right? And so I want to make sure that I cover that. And again, the only way I knew this was happening, because once you go into the community and you see the plethora of information, you're not really sure what to do next. And I understood that to let me know and make me aware that I needed to do a better job of highlighting when I'm letting you all know to come into the community. Right now, I'm telling you to come into the community to get the worksheets that I'm going to discuss on the day. However, just on a regular everyday, you guys didn't know that once you come into the community and you log out, you're trying to figure out, wait a minute, how do I get back to the community? Thank you so much for your follow, Queen of South. I greatly appreciate it. Queen of South, what state are you located in? I appreciate knowing exactly where that is. And thank you for your daily heart meet. I greatly appreciate when you guys take the opportunity to share that daily heart meet with me, because we only have so many, right? And I appreciate the fact that you share those with me. But they didn't know and they didn't understand that when you leave the community, they're like, wait a minute, how do I get back to the community? And so I need to make sure that I put that information obviously across social media, but I put it inside the group as well as I continue to inform you guys. So when you come into the community and you're looking to get these worksheets on today, I've taken the opportunity to pin that so that you can see it. And I'm going to show you here on my device, I hope, without tearing up my whole setup here. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. She is from Florida. That is so good to hear. So we have inclement weather coming here in North Carolina on this weekend. Supposedly, we're going to get well over 12 to 15 inches of snow. Interesting. I hope they'll just settle for like 1 or 2, right? But we have inclement weather. Do you have the same thing going on in Florida for this weekend? I think I saw a map somewhere that showed, and I'll see if I can find it, and it was kind of read out and mapped out to what the inclement weather is getting ready to look like. Oh, I happened to get that screenshot, but her hand is across it. So it looks to me like, from what I can see, minimal snow, 0 to 5 for that Florida area, 6 to 15 for the not Virginia, is that Virginia that's under us? No, South Carolina, Georgia area. However, the orange is supposed to be, that is not what I read the other day. Wow, this says the orange is supposed to be heavy snow, 36 inches or more. And then the red, 61 inches or more. And the orange falls in South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. I'm not going to look at that no more, because that is not what I thought. Okay? What's going on, Forever Glow Up? Thank you so much for joining us on today. I greatly appreciate it. We in Florida. According to us, we will be making snow angels here in North Carolina as well. So I'm going to sit down for just a spell because I feel like I'm all the way at the top of the screen and I can't really see everything that I need to see. And hopefully I'm warmed up enough to share with you guys. I had to stand up because I got a bit of the itis. I made the mistake of eating right before we jumped on this live. And I feel it coming back down. Yeah, I may have to stand back up, but I got a bit of the itis. But I'm going to get through this and you all are going to get this information. So again, this information is available up here in the community. But you guys did not know that when you come into the community and you leave out of the community, you guys were like, how do I get back to the community? How did I know this was a problem? Because the same people kept rejoining the community so they could get in. So here is my PSA, my brand announcement to each and every one of you that are following me here regularly and consistently on TikTok or any of the social media platforms that this gets translated out to or transmitted out to or reshared or repurposed out to. You come into the community using the available option here inside of the profile to come into the community. Once you come into the community, you are a member. And as I teach in any of the information that I distribute about your domains is once you come into the community, meaning you go to community.martina.Yelverton, when you return to the community, you are now a member. And so once you become a member of the community, you go to members.martina.Yelverton. Hello? Okay, so I need to put that somewhere where it says if you are brand new to the BrandMaster here on the social media platform, please understand to come into the community, you can use the option that is available up here. This will allow you to see the very first tagged post, pinned post that I have inside the community so you can get access to these worksheets. Now that I've warmed up the room and I've discussed the worksheets, okay, we're going to jump into the worksheets, okay? And again, if you don't have an opportunity to leave out and come back because you want to go grab your worksheets, just grab a sheet of paper. If you already have the project planning worksheet, then use that, okay? So what we're going to discuss here on today to make sure that I'm clear, what we're going to discuss here today is we're going to actually go through the process of filling out this worksheet. This worksheet is your unique value. You're trying to discover what your unique value is, what your unique genius is, right? This is the worksheet to help you work through the process. So I know when I set up today's live, welcome CS, look like that's probably some C money, okay? It looks like for you guys as brand new novice people, not completely understanding maybe what branding is. Welcome back, Magpie. Not with you guys completely understanding what personal branding is, how to use a domain, what is the difference between a website and hosting and your email and all of that. Before you ever even get to all of that, you really need to know and understand what your own unique genius is. What is your own value? And today we're going to go through that. And before we end this hour, you should have a clear understanding and be able to write on the last area here and the last exercise what your clarifying statement is, right? What your specific statement is to make everybody know what your unique and your genius value is. Thank you so much for joining. I greatly appreciate that. Welcome, Juanita. So if you have no earthly idea what that value is, how to get to that, we've been talking for the last 2 Sundays prior to this past Sunday even. What is your gift? What is your value? What is your skill set? What is your purpose? What is your passion? What is it that you do that you really, really, really enjoy doing? And I ask you guys to make a big me list, okay? I told you that if you had a plain sheet of paper, let me grab a notebook here. I told you if you guys had a plain sheet of paper, you had an old notebook, right? And you took the opportunity to go inside of that notebook and you decided, hey, here on this date, I'm just going to start to catalog everything that I know how to do. Maybe even make a second column over here. Everything that you know how to do. That's called making your big me list. Everything that you know how to do, that you're comfortable with doing, that you're consistently asked about doing, that's like creating your big me list. You're going to list all of those things out. And as you begin to write and you continue to write, I need for you to think about, okay, goodness, as soon as I get into teaching, TikTok, of course, wants to ask me about a flash goal. All right, so I have posted the flash goal. And hopefully you guys will get a chance to operate inside of that. So if you've already sent your daily heart meet, don't worry about it. For those of you coming into the room, it would be great for those that join here moving forward. If you help me and help TikTok understand that we are in here getting this value by meeting the flash goal, yay. Okay. So when you're making that list, you're thinking about everything that you're good at, right? And you may not know that you're good at it, so don't just focus on the thing that you're good at, right? Just focus on things that you know to your understanding of clarity very well, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, let me ask you this question. How confident are you in articulating, however you pronounce it, articulating? How confident are you on a scale of 1 to 10 are you with articulating something that you're really good at, something that people find valuable about you? How confident are you on a scale of 0 to 10 with articulating, talking about, spelling out, saying whatever it is that you're good at on a scale of 1 to 10? Those of you that are available to comment in the comments, do that. I know a lot of times when we're watching this, we may be traveling and so we can't type into the comments. That's okay. If one or two of you choose to do that, be great. Come on into the room from out there in the hallway. Come on into the room and let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 how confident you are with articulating or talking about, or even go online, coaching, teaching, training, whatever, just having a simple conversation about whatever it is that you are good at. How comfortable are you with that on a scale of 1 to 10? I know when I first started along this journey, I was really timid to say what it is I did as a business until I began running into multiple people who didn't have a clue what it was when I said branding or domains or websites or personal, brands or professional brands or business branding. When I was talking about things like CRMs and, I was helping them understand forms and landing pages and all of that, they were really, really, really clueless, right? And the more I was able to walk people through understanding the value of what all these things mean, especially after the pandemic, people needed to be online. They really need to know and understand what a domain is, what a website is, what landing pages are, what funnels are. And that allowed me to become even more comfortable with articulating what it is that I consider valuable. And so I asked the question, how comfortable are you with articulating what it is that you are confident in, that you understand is your value, and that how comfortable are you talking about it, right? For me, when I first started, I was about a 1 or a 2, a 3, just did not feel comfortable with sharing all of that information. However, hey, Jamani, when Sister Girl Rona hit these streets, I became extremely confident in speaking about branding and websites and domains and email addresses and getting online, streaming, Zoom, StreamYard, Riverside, all of these platforms and all of these softwares. I became very comfortable, right, talking about it at that point. Thank you for your daily heart. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for becoming a follower. I really do appreciate that. How comfortable are you, Jamani? Let's see if I can tag the room to ask you specifically. How comfortable are you, Miss Kim? How comfortable are you, Loca? Your Loca. Help me if I'm mispronouncing that to pronounce it correctly. How comfortable are you talking about what your unique value is? What that one thing is, or that 1 to 5 things are that you do very well? How comfortable are you sharing that with other people? How comfortable on a scale of 0 to 10 are you being? 10 being, I can have a whole dissertation about it. I can talk about, my confidence and my value at a level of 10. When I first started, I was more like a 0, 1, or 2. However, like I said, when the pandemic hit, we were spot on 8, 9, and 10, because people did not realize just how valuable it was to take digital space on the internet and to share with people, because we still needed to be in personal relationships with other people during that time. And so that forced a lot of people to come out of their shells, right? That forced a lot of people to become vocal about their value. And so whereas you may have initially been a 0 or 1 or 2, thank you so much for the repost, Jamani, I appreciate it. Whereas you may have started out not being comfortable at a 0, a 1, or a 2, the pandemic forced people to become comfortable with being in front of the camera, with speaking well, with speaking articulately, with being able to voice their value on a scale of a 6, a 7, an 8, or 9. And some people became overachievers and they were 10 pluses, right? And so when you go through that metamorphic situation where you are forced to get online and talk about your value, it becomes easier, right, to talk about your value, to put your brand positioning out there. Hey, Ronnie D, thank you for the share. I appreciate it. That helped you to become much more vocal, okay? And so it's okay if you don't want to share it in the chat where you are now on this journey. Just understand that my hope is by the time we get through the end of this worksheet and we get to your final statement about who you help, who you coach, how you serve, what that value is, and how you help others with your unique value. By the time we get to this last statement, you may have started out thinking, well, I feel like I'm more of a 0 or 1 or a 2. I'm not greatly confident with sharing my value. By the time we get to the end of this, my hope and prayer is that you will be maybe about 3 to 5 points higher. That's my goal, okay? And so if I'm looking at the first layer, when we're talking on here about your skills, we're talking about what it is that you do. And if you're looking at that list that you made, that big me list that you made, and you made that list based on personal skills, let's transition a little bit of that and see if we can add on here in about 10 spaces, completing this, filling this out with the mindset of tangible things, maybe even. I am a graphic designer. I am in HR. Thank you so much for the Go Populars. That helps us get pushed out to all of you guys who are out there in the hallways, peeking in and not coming into the room. That helps us get pushed out even further to the people who are outside of the hallway on the FYP out there to come on into the room and to actually take a seat and actually engage in the conversation about their unique value. When we're talking about your genius skill set, you are more than just a graphic designer. You are more than just a professional speaker. You are more than just a project manager. You are more than an HR representative. You are more than that, more than a hostess. You are more than a server. Like, you are more than that. But let's just start out with the first 10 things that come to mind about what you do on a regular daily basis. If you want to take a minute or so to list on your worksheet or your project planner or a simple sheet of paper, right? If you want to list about 10 skills that you have, whether they're big or they're small. I don't want you judging the different things that you're writing down or you're memorizing, or if you're driving, you're jotting, on your mind. I don't want you to judge any of that. I just need for you to write it down. I need for you to make it memorable. You need to, what do they say? Place that in your useful information file in the back of your mind. Pay attention to the road if you're driving, but think about those things, right? Because they're important. They're a starting point. They're a foundational. Thank you so much for joining, Beyond. I appreciate you. And I think that the full And TikTok has given us a little bit of server area. So if I don't get an opportunity beyond the surface to appreciate you, thank you so much for your daily heart meet. It's giving me some technical issues up there. And so I can't see everybody that's in the room. But beyond judgment, okay, let's just think about what you do as your skill set on an everyday basis, whether it's HR, whether you're a server, whether you're a host, or whether you're a cook, whether you're the dishwasher, you bust the tables, that's restaurant speak, right? Whether or not you are in HR, whether or not you are a supervisor, a manager, whether you're a professional speaker, whether you're a consultant, whether you're the CEO, visionary, and founder, okay, of a place. I need for you to list out some of the skill sets. What's going on? Happy Watch Me Work Wednesday to you as well, right? Take a couple minutes, and I think I've kind of filled a little time so you guys could go ahead and get all that, jotted down. The reason I'm asking you to do that is so that you can see it for yourself, right? So that you can be proud of those accomplishments, so that you can see so much of what it is that you are filled with, right? You have purpose in you, and you just may not be paying attention to all that. Thank you so much for the shares, Jamani. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. When people are sharing out your information, that is almost like their co-signature. That is like their megaphone, their shout out to the people on the FYP or to the people who are perusing the hallways. This lady is giving us some value. You guys need to come on in here and check out what she's saying, and I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Welcome to the room, Julius. I see you, my friend. So again, I've given you a little bit of filler time to go and to complete that first part of this worksheet, right? And the different things that you are writing down during that first part that is asking, what are your skills? What do you do? Those tangible things, maybe even that you do. You may be in graphics. You may be, a professional web designer. You may be a speaker. You may be a DJ. You may be, an individual that speaks about the word. You may be a connector, like a person who connects other people. You may be a resource individual. You may be insurance. You may be in trading, right? What do you do in all of those different areas? If you're a project manager, a server, a host, a coach, right? What are those different things that you do? That is what you're wanting to list in this first part that talks about what you do. Now, let's take it a little bit further along the same layer, and let's talk about your experience, because this is your wisdom. What does that journey look like? If we're talking about, the corporate track, you can say, I have invested 20 years in corporate marketing, right? What does that look like? You can say, hey, I have 2 decades beyond bankruptcy. You may be able to discuss in your signature story how you ended up in a situation that you ended up. What was that experience like getting you on the other side of that bankruptcy? You may be able to say, hey, I am 3 years beyond bankruptcy, and this is what I've been able to accomplish since bankruptcy, after bankruptcy, beyond it, right? This is just an example or two that I'm giving you in how you've overcome, conquered, achieved, and gotten beyond an experience that you have had to endure. What you've seen beyond those skills, what you've seen on the job, the people you've seen and gone, how your particular W-2 job may have gone through the transition. How did they weather the pandemic? How did Rona come and wreck shop? I know here in the city of Wilson, I think it's very interesting for us to be this rural area that we're in, and it's so interesting that every time we drive over near the area where the Texas Roadhouse is closed down, but the Outback stays packed. That lets you know that 2 similar restaurants, one went down to during the pandemic and never bounced back, but the other one has risen from the ashes, right? Because of timing, because of what the marketplace is asking for. Similarly, an Alpaca, which is right across the street, was due to open before the Outback. Remember where we are. We're out here in Wilson, North Carolina. That Outback has yet to not be packed. that alpaca, which was due to launch well beyond the outback, stays pretty dismal in traffic. Again, what is the marketplace demanding, right? So under this experience area, when we're talking about what you've seen, what your wisdom has produced, what you've seen along the journey, what has that looked like for you over that amount of time, I need for you to list 3 to 5 major life or career experiences that have taught you something important, right? That have taught you a lesson. Because remember, some people get stuck because they don't have a blueprint. They don't have lines on a piece of paper that tell them segment out certain things. They don't have a detailed framework to work within, right? To be able to flesh through these experiences. So for now, I just have you writing down a few of the major life transitions and career changes that you have actually gone through that taught you something, right? Because life really does not do damaging things to you. These are all lessons that you're supposed to learn. Be ye also ready and stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? So that you can deal with what is thrown in your direction. All right. So I've filled up a little bit of time there for you guys to either be thinking and writing upon your mind some of the life experiences and major changes that you've gone through so that you can see how you've overcome. An exercise I do whenever I'm doing live speaking is I have people go through an exercise where I ask them to breathe in, hold it, and release it just to calm themselves down for a moment, right? And then I even ask them, thank you so much for becoming the title gifter. Thank you so much of the TikTok live, if that's what that one is, that little cloud. Thank you so much, Jamani, for that. I greatly appreciate it. I asked them to take a moment to settle themselves, to close their eyes, and I asked them to go back to a time in their past where they did something that was completely them, that was of their thinking, that was of their prompting, that was of their speaking, that was something that was completely, totally them. They did it. They didn't have any help doing it. They put it together. Maybe they thought about it. Thank you so much for the live. I appreciate that. Go back to that time where you did something that was completely you. For me, I always go back to the time where I actually successfully birthed all 4 of my children. Natural. And they hear and they thriving and they grow. And I did that, of course, with the help of God. But I'm referring to what my body produced out here into this world. Rest into that. Smile. Remember what it felt like, even through the pain, what it was that I was doing. I was bringing forth life. Oh, you are a blessing, Jamani. Thank you so much for the friendship necklace. I appreciate it. You are lighting up my gift gallery. I'm just now learning what all that means. So I appreciate you so much for that. When you go back to a time like that and you relive even the pain of delivery, you gave life. There's something powerful. There's something empowering about that. Right? Rest in that. You accomplished that. That's an achievement. You did that, right? Going back to moments like that and bringing whatever the energy is, the fulfillment is, the encouragement, the empowerment that you feel from that will help you get through a current situation because your brain doesn't know the difference. It just feels the energy. It just feels all of the zhuzh, as I call it, about that situation to help propel you, to help sustain you through something you're going through. Whenever I feel like I'm about to be frustrated, down, or aggravated, I just have to inhale, hold it, and then let it out. And the first thing I ask is, what am I supposed to learn right now? I completely cut off whatever was about to cause me to explode so that I can focus on whatever the lesson is. What is this journey teaching me right now? What is something that I'm going through right now to help me get through what I'm going through right now? What is the experience? Change your perspective. Number 3 is really what I'm getting to. We talked about your skills. We talked about your experiences. Now we're talking about your perspective. Adjust your perspective in that moment, right? Because this is now your unique genius, right? This is your secret sauce. This is your zhuzh, as I say, right? And you can say, I have a unique ability to, and then whatever comes to you. I have a unique ability to take complex things like AI, domains, websites, hosting, graphics, frameworks, right? And I have the ability to simplify that for the Gen X, for the boomer, for the new, the stuck, or struggling entrepreneur who is tired of gatekeeping. I have the ability to say, this is how it's done. There's no gatekeeping here, right? I see your similar patterns. Why? Because I'm a Gen X. I was struggling with tech. Occasionally, it still gets a hold to me, right? I was once a new brand. I was once a new business. I see you. I understand exactly where you are and what you're going through. And if you take the opportunity to learn a simplified way to get through that, then you will become unstuck. You won't struggle the way you struggled before, right? I see that. I know exactly what it looks like, and I know how to get over it. So when you're taking the opportunity to discuss what it is that you do and what those experiences are, and you change your perspective of what those experiences mean to you, now you're able to say, hey, I'm looking at my skills and my experiences, and I'm changing my perspective. What is the common thing that I'm seeing throughout this journey? Like, what's the unique way that you see it? What is the unique way that you deal with it? How do you work through it? How do you simplify the process? If we were talking about the skill set that you have on a job, you could be in HR for 20 plus years. The only way you're going to be in HR for 20 plus years is if you're that good. What did you do to make that simplified for you? What was the process that you went through to help each and every hired person come into that same job, get through whatever the playbook is that they have for that position? How did you make that simplified for people coming through for 20 years in that position? Don't look at that job as a job. It is a learning. It is a lesson, right? There is something that you're there for to get from that to be able to utilize in your own purpose and your passion, right? Stop looking at a job as just a job. Because once you change your perspective and you're looking at how to do what it is you do so that it helps you ascend, that's a change of perspective. Now you're looking at your job completely and totally different, okay? In this formula that we discuss, when you're now getting ready to go look at the market fit for what it is that you do, what is the market asking about that experience? What is the market asking for from that journey? What is the market looking for from the perspective that you have now gained when you look at what your skill set is and your experiences were? What is the marketplace asking for a solution to that you just determined you actually do have the solution to? Because this will help you see who exactly needs this. Who exactly needs my skill set? They're your ideal person, right? And what is it that you're going to do for them? Are you going to just explain? Are you going to educate? Are you going to coach? Are you going to teach? Are you going to train? Are you going to help them transform? Are you just going to empower them, encourage them, give them affirmations? What is it that you're going to do to help them along the journey, right? I like to teach most everything I teach in the 5 W's framework. And that's usually the what, the when, the where, the who, the why, And then finally, I give a bonus of the how, right? And if you're not going to remember all 5 of those plus the bonus, which you should, because that's how we learned as a Gen X or a boomer in school, then remember just these 3. What, so what, and now what? What is it that you do? What is it that you have? What is it? What is your solution? Like all of the what's about whatever it is. So what? Meaning so that whoever is receiving it can do what with it? So that now they have it. So that now they know about it. Like what do they benefit from? Not what all the bells and whistles of it. Those are features. But how do the people receiving your solution, what is it that they can now do with it? That helps you understand a lot more about what the product, service, niche it is that you have, the experience that you have, right? That helps you understand more about how to relate it, verbalize to them, right? And then finally, when you take your unique perspective and you break that thing down, whether you're breaking it down into these 3 steps, so what, and now what, what, so what, and now what, now that you break that down, understanding how it helps them, then you're able to actually put together your unique genius statement. I help who it is that you help, by what it is that you help them with, how, and how do you do it? So what, and now what? Does that make sense to you guys? If that makes sense to you guys, tap it up a little bit more on the screen, say yes in the chat, give me a thumbs up, plug the BrandMaster sticker in the comments, whatever. Just give me some kind of a response letting me know that that makes sense. Because if you're not going to remember all 5 of the W's and be able to apply it to your own unique value give, then at least be able to just remember the what it is that you do or what it is that you have to give someone so that they can learn to do what with it, or so that it accomplishes what for them, and now what do they need to do to get access to that so that they can get the solution. Nothing that you do makes any sense if you go through everything that we just did to understand your skills, your experience, change your perspective, go through all of that, figure out how to break that thing down so that it's that thing that you love so much, that you're passionate about, that you now have determined that the marketplace truly needs. And if you go through all of this and that, and then you never tell them, even when you determine who it is you're speaking to, but you never tell them how to get it, you just wasted a lot of folks' time and a lot of your time, and you are going to continue to be stuck and struggling. You're no longer new. Now you're going to be stuck and struggling continually because you never told the person how to get it. So again, I'm showing you this worksheet repeatedly. I'm telling you the best way for you to get it is to go up inside of the community, right? To come into the community, to download it, to complete it. And even in the community, you can share your results. You can ask your questions. You can type in the community and let us know so that you may be struggling to flesh out how to create your own value statement. That's what the community is for. So if I were to say, and just as an example, I help 50 plus professionals build profitable, sustainable businesses by helping them to get their foundational assets in order first, so that they could go on to live a legacy, to leave a legacy, to do whatever it is that they are passionate and purposed to do, right? You could be an individual that may still be stuck at listing all of your skills. Let's not stay stuck. Come into the community. Say, I'm stuck here at what all my skill sets are. Okay? My goal is to help you use this formula and the list that you have made, from the Big Me list all the way down to the 30 Big Me list things, to 3, focus things. And now you could be stuck at the point where it's time to draft your statement, right? Drop it into the community. I would be more than excited to help you. And in the end, the only way you're going to finally get to the point where that gift will make room for you is if you tell people how to get it. So once you go through this process and you now know your value, and now you know who needs it, and you deliver it to them via a call to action, a framework, or something that tells them how to get access to it, right? That's how you're going to get paid for it. Now, again, if you don't have a payment processor set up, if you don't have subdomains that link to certain places, if you don't have any of the startup platforms, if you don't have anything connected to Stripe accounts and things like that, again, those are the things that you ask inside the community, because everything in the community that has a checklist or that has a training has a checklist. Everything in the community that I'm giving you access to, when I'm showing how to use the systems that I use, they all come with checklists. You don't have to figure it out. I make sure that you have not only a training, but you have a checklist so you can follow along, so that you can have a framework to stay within. This value give of all your passion, that value statement that you have, that's the foundation of your freebie, of something like a core offer. This is something that could be your main product that you could get paid for. Then ascend to the next thing, a higher ticket offer. That could be the essence of whatever your premium coaching is, right? Again, all of these different things are available for you guys inside of the community, but it starts by listing out first what it is that you do. I hope that makes sense for you guys. Like I said, we are here for a good time, not a long time tonight, because I am due at 7 o'clock to get into a training on AI. I actually started creating my own AI twin. I'm going to share that with you guys before I get off of here, and y'all going to let me know whether or not these look like me, because I thought, good gracious, these really do look like me. So that's really exciting. I'm going to share that with you before we go on tonight, and then we'll be back this Sunday. Okay, now this Sunday, week 4. Let me go ahead and let you know before I share these AI twins with you that I've created. This Sunday, we're actually going to be talking about, because we'll be moving into what is pretty much considered the 4th week. God's sakes, we're already at the 4th week of the first month of 2026. Is crazy. Okay. Anyway, here in this 4th week of January, we're actually going to be discussing the educational information about branding, about the 5 W's of branding. If you've not seen the YouTube training that I have on that, you'll be able to watch it on YouTube. But we're just going to go a little bit deeper, because you guys are wondering things like, what is a brand? Who is it for? Outside of who am I? But who does it target outside of myself? We're going to go down deep through all of that and have you guys understand what the 5 W's of branding are. We're going to have the worksheet, which is cheat sheet Martina.Yelverton.com, so that you can access that, and so you don't have to worry about taking notes, because there's a cheat sheet that's available for you. There's a YouTube video you can go ahead and be out there watching already and ahead of time. But again, to help you guys see all that is available, every teaching moment that I have for you, there is generally a training for it, as well as a cheat sheet or a checklist for it. So you don't have to be out here flailing around trying to figure things out. I make sure you have all the tools, all the resources, the strategies, everything that you need. I try to make sure you have everything that you need to make the process of you going through all of the steps as simplified as possible. Okay, so we're jumping on with Alandria at 7 p.m. for the AI. Like I said, I'm going to show you guys this so you can see it, because she looks a lot like me to me. So I wanted to see whether or not you guys felt like my AI twin looks like me. And let me see if I can get her pulled up so I can show you guys, because I think she looks like me. You let me know your thought. So I'm going to pull up a couple of them. Let's turn this around and you tell me if you think this child look like me. Don't she look like me? So this is my AI twin. Y'all think she looks like me? I think she looks like me. That one I think really looks like me. Miss Kim, yes, okay. She looked like she from the Oz. She looked like she the Tin Man from the Oz, but that is 100% my face. I don't think she looks like me at all. And let's see. Some days she is 100% me. Yes. 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 Like, my AI twin did the thing. I think she has done an amazing job. So we're getting ready to head into class. And in class, we're going to be discussing how to take those AI twin images and turn those into videos. So y'all about to see me walking around, coaching, teaching, training, and talking about, some of my my book projects, right? Y'all about to see me walking around talking about the Cash Flow Queen Journal and putting it on the campaign and all that. And it's going to talk about why it exists. So I'm excited about that. We'll see how this goes. We get into class in about 9 minutes in Alandria's room, but I cannot wait to share what that looks like, because even in the portions of the class, the coursework that I've already done, I can already see how it's getting ready to bless the community. Being able to take, I think, let's see, how many did I put in there? So up here, you guys can see I actually plugged in 1, 2, 3, 4. I plugged in 8 images of myself, right? And being able to take and create photorealistic images of a Gen X woman, her face is illuminated. Like, I can say these different prompts. And with her course, I got well over 200 prompts. And that allowed me to come out with a result like this. I am so excited to share this with the community, right? And so let me see if I can grab another one really quickly and see if we can get one to produce here in real time. So let me go down in here and just grab one really quickly for you guys to see. All right, so let's just take this one. Premium Studio Headshot. And I'm going to grab that one. And I'm going to plug that one in here. Paste it. And let's just see what happens. And I'm going to say create 2 twins. And let's see what happens. Now, I'm doing this on the fly. Again, I'm just learning this system tonight. I am just learning this source today. We go into class in about 8 minutes. This was me playing around with it even before class. And I was able to generate those 8 realistic, photorealistic images. And they looked a lot like me. Now, she on the left, she looks somewhat like me. She doesn't really look like me. But that darn tootin' looks like my hair before I grew all of the gold out, the bronze out of my hair, and I started going gray. That's pretty good in my opinion, right? And it just did that on the fly. Again, if you look at going from here to here, that's pretty dope. What do y'all think? How do you think that looks? I think that's pretty neat. Okay, so again, I will be taking the opportunity to share all of that, all of this tool, everything that I can about this tool with you guys in the community. Again, if you come into the community, you'll come up here, you'll come into the community. And once you're in the community, you don't have to rejoin the community to access it. You are now members.martinabrityelverton.com. You no longer have to go back to community and rejoin the community. Okay. And I think I may even put another one up that says login or something like that. So you guys know you don't have to rejoin the community to come back to the community. Now you just go into the community because you're a member. But I'll get that video up and running for that. I want to thank you guys for your time on tonight. I hope something that I have shared with you on tonight helps you understand how to discover your unique genius. If you don't have this worksheet, of course, you can go up to the community. And you can come into the community to get this free worksheet. Inside of the community, as I said, I was going to share this. When you come into the community, there's so much good that you are available to access here inside the community. But when you come into the community for that first time, this first post right here is how to discover your unique genius. This is how you're going to get access to that cheat sheet. And then I also have a cheat sheet here that gives you access to the actual project planner, because again, I didn't make those up. I got these and I reformatted them from Productivity Flourishing, right? And I gave you the full Watch Me Work Wednesday to talk about how to use that. And the reason that I did this, because I literally had to go over and create a place for you guys to be able to get these after we're live. So we're live here on TikTok, right? But after you do a live like that, it disappears. And so what I wanted to do and what I ended up doing was going and creating a channel over here for the TikTok live replays. And so now, of course, I definitely want you to subscribe to the channel and help get us over 1,000 subscribers. But beyond that, I wanted to create a place for the TikTok lives to live so you actually can watch them. So starting here in 2026, this one talks about the New Year's resolutions. This one talks about how the struggle is real and some of the TikTok newbie problems that we have and what personal branding is. We also had Julius Moses, who held it down for us while I was traveling, because my time to start the live, I was still in the gym, but we were able to talk to the TikTok newbies and what quality engagement means and what that looked like. Here on this past Watch Me Work Wednesday, we discussed the unusual names that we have and how to start creating that Big Me list. And then finally on this past Sunday, we talked about discovering your unique value and the sheet that we actually walked through on tonight. So this is where tonight's TikTok live will live. As soon as we wrap up tonight, get the downloading, put together the thumbnail for it, then you'll be able to go and watch this in its entirety over here on the YouTube channel. So like I said, thank you for your time on tonight. I greatly appreciate it. Each and every one of you that gave gifts on tonight, that engaged tonight, that are going to join us in the community, I really appreciate it. And I hope to catch you guys this Sunday, like I said, as we discuss the 5 W's of branding, so you can understand that your value is your number one asset and that you need to have a personal brand behind it. Catch you guys soon. So y'all want to wait till I get to the end of coaching to wonder if I'm doing what I'm doing. Y'all know I'm in here teaching these folks. To y'all success, I'll catch you guys on this Sunday. And so I know you all helped me meet so many of my live goals that I didn't even have on here tonight. So I'm going to adjust this one to 1. That way I'm able to get out of here having met a goal. And once I confirm it, it tells me, yay, I met my goal, achieved. Good deal. Catch you guys on Sunday.